It's a bull. Good afternoon. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Sorry about the delay on the report today. I kind of got tied up with some things this morning, but just as well, gave me a chance to kind of absorb what we got going on in the markets. Meanwhile, for my South Florida peeps, look at this. What a lovely day on the beach. I think it's like 74, something like that. I'll let you know in a second here. They put the temperature down here, 74 degrees and absolutely beautiful. This is the Windjammer Resort and Beach Club Cam. Been watching it for a long time, and what a nice little place they have there as well. Hey, let's take a look at my theme for the day, or my meme for the day, which is gold is the money of kings, silver is the money of gentlemen, barter is the money of peasants, but debt is the money of slaves. Norm Fran's Money and Wealth in the New Millennium, I guess a book that he wrote, but very, very astute comments there. And I don't think he's the originator of that, maybe the last line, but debt is the money of slaves. And that's true. Think about this. When they say gold is the money of kings, and this is kind of the theme of this report today, gold is the money of kings. Who are the current kings that you would call kings today? Well, in the financial world, it would be the central bankers of the world, the bankers of the world. And what do the central bankers own in their vaults? They don't own cryptos. They don't own U.S. dollars in their vaults. They don't own property, even real estate. What do they stuff their vaults with? They stuff their vaults with gold, folks. Why is that? Why is that if it's such an old relic and no longer needed today? Why do the smartest bankers in the world stuff their vaults full of gold and nothing else? Not even silver, which is to my point that silver will always follow gold, but we need to keep an eye on the price of gold. And I'll get into that in a moment here. Let's take a look at the prices today and where we're going. It was upwards. We saw the slingshot effect. I was calling it the rubber band effect for the last few weeks, but I'm going to call it the slingshot effect this morning in precious metals. A little pattern that I've noticed has been happening for some time. Gold currently sitting at 1806.92, a low of 1793, and a high of 1815. Silver 2250, and again low of 2216. It looks like it was trying to near that 21 mark, but did not happen. And a high of 2266, and we're sitting midways right now. These 50-cent increments are really cool. A lot of activity in gold and silver right now, and the slingshot effect as well. We'll take a look at that on the 24-hour chart in a moment. And platinum down a bit. As is palladium right now. Platinum down $10, sitting at that 1025 range, and a low of 1013 and a high of 1038, kind of in the middle there, down a little bit from where it was today. And as I said, platinum, palladium, hardly anybody trades it. I think I bought a couple ounces this week over the only guy in town that owned palladium. I think he sold his position. I'm only teasing. So let's take a look here and see what else we got going on. Here's the 24-hour charts, and let me do a quick refresh here. And there is the slingshot effect that I've been talking about on the 24-hour gold. See that right there? Take a look at that too. That was yesterday. There's that slingshot. This is a pattern that I've been noticing that's been happening on the New York CrimeX markets almost on a daily basis or every other day. As you can see right here, the blue line, which would have been Wednesday, not so much, but a lot of this type of patterns happening in the New York CrimeX markets in the morning. I've also noticed with silver, it's been trounced on a little bit as well, but it bounces back, that rubber band effect. Let's take a look at that again here. There you go, boom, right there, and here we are today. That was yesterday, here's today. And you can kind of see that same effect, but not so pronounced on Wednesday. So something happening in the CrimeX markets that's dropping it like a 10, 20 cent, 50 cent moves, and then it just kind of, again, rockets right back to where it was and starts to march maybe a little bit higher, stays sideways. Some strange activities in these markets right now. And this is a pattern that I've noticed probably for the last 2-3 weeks, or maybe even the last month or so. The time frames kind of escaped me a little bit. Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing. This surprised me more than anything, equity markets, and I've just kind of been following them lately because I think that when the equity markets really start to dive downward, you'll see even more upward momentum in precious metals. However, it doesn't look like it's happening that way either. The futures markets overnight were down substantially, like 500 points, I think, for the Dow, and the NASDAQ was down about the same. I think it was like 2%. The S&P was down like almost 2%. Anyways, it was down quite a bit in the futures markets this morning before the opening, and then all of a sudden, boom, it bounced up. It's been sitting about sideways since then. I really believe that the reason that these markets are bouncing back in the morning is not because of retail buyers or even maybe commercial buyers. I believe that there's some kind of central bank intervention going on here to prevent these equity markets. This is pure speculative on my part too. But I believe there's intervention by the plunge protection team or maybe the Fed to prevent these markets from diving overnight. I think they're going in the mornings and buying equities and stuff and trying to keep this market at least sideways or from imploding all at once, like that 900-point loss we saw last week in equities, where somebody came in and magically it rebounded back to an 1,100 points up. I mean, go figure. I believe that was Fed intervention or federal government intervention, and I believe they're intervening in the equities markets right now to slowly let the air out of this greatest bubble of all time instead of letting the bubble just burst all at once. Speculative on my part, but God, it sure looks that way based on these type of trades and based on the way those graphs look and the markets look. But I could be wrong on that. Let me know what you think in comments. As far as precious metal news, not a lot to talk about. I looked at gata.org. No real new articles there. Of course, most of you are reading the stuff before I even get to it. Talk about the next day, which I'm happy that you're doing that. As far as ZH, mostly political stuff here. And this was kind of interesting. The data on today's stunning payroll beat was pretty incredible. However, I think this article mentions in here, and as I've been mentioning for quite some time, is how can you rely on, you can't rely on official data. You can't rely on the official narrative. If you do, you're going to make really bad trades on it, because I believe that the data is rigged, the data is fixed, and occasionally there's just some stupid mistakes made in a lot of the official data you're given. And chartists and people that make major trades and big decisions in markets use this data to trade on. And my question is, again, if the data is skewed, the data is incorrect, how good of a trade can you make on that type of data? And if you got thoughts on that as well, put it down in the comment section. I'm happy to take a look at it. As far as gold and silver goes, we'll get into that in a moment, but are you prepared for $200 per barrel oil? Silver, man. Silver just is so cheap. It seems so cheap. And it is cheap, really. It's probably one of the cheapest, most used commodities out there since it's used in electronics and in investment demand. Silver is just, and the reason it's so cheap, folks, is because it's been the price of silver has been so heavily manipulated in the COMEX, CRIMEX markets for so long. A lot of people talk about that. We know this happens. Companies, like JP have gotten fined for manipulating gold and silver markets. So is Deutschmark, I believe, Deutschmark or whatever bank, and other entities, big commercial banks have been fined for manipulating precious metals markets as well. It's history. It's fact. We know this. Okay, so it still continues today in the silver markets. This is why silver has not had the opportunity to take off to what is probably a rightful supply and demand factor. What the real physical should dictate, the physical above ground supplies versus demand out there. And physical versus paper are two totally different things. These paper markets are completely rigged, in my opinion. So what does that do? It rigs the price structure. It rigs the prices that you're going to use or that you see on a daily basis. But anyways, again, I'm preaching to the choir, I'm sure, here. So let's take a look at what else is going on here. Wow, that's pretty crazy. I didn't know that. Again, not too much to talk about. That's pretty interesting as well. Shaq is one of my favorite sports. I'm not even a sports guy, and I always like this guy. He just seems like such a friendly, smart person, and this kind of proves to me that he is. Let's see. Not too much. Going to be a really quick video today. I'm going to just kind of go into yesterday's BOFA silver short position, dumb or criminal. If you didn't watch it, basically I was just discussing that I don't think BOFA would do an $800 million ounce short position in derivatives in silver and 30 million ounces in gold. if it was criminal, it would be so easy to charge them and get them in trouble for that, because we can see that they've actually done this. But I think it was just probably a dumb move. Ted points that out. And who probably conned him into doing that? Probably J.P. Morgan. Again, speculation on my part and other people's parts. But J.P. probably conned BOFA into taking that short position, since they had the most to benefit. Number one, by the amount of money they would make on that trade. And number two, by really sticking the screws to a competitor like BOFA. Let's take a look at, close your eyes if you get motion sickness. I'm going to shoot down to the bottom. Let's take a look at some questions we had in yesterday's video. Hey Mike, what's going on? Pumpkin's loftiest creation, go truckers. Smart, dumb are buying, big guys are dumping. Ask you questions, so why in the world is only silver is down? Armar, because it's a highly manipulated metal, but as if you follow my videos, you know that this manipulation only provides a lot of us an opportunity to buy at a much cheaper price. And that's what they've done, so take advantage of it while you can. Buy the dips here. Again, my opinion. Criminal, not back to plowing snow. Man, I haven't seen snow in a long time. Thanks for watching. Welco from, Dirt Scratchman, think hard, yep. Inevitable Bull, Jeffrey Christian talked him into it. Ireland, it looks like you came into my store, friendly place, buy and sell silver, can't see the count gauge on the machine. Oh yeah, I responded to your question here today. As you can see, I saw it down here, and where is it? There we go. Here, I'll read this since we're there. He was a little concerned because our counting machine didn't face the front of the store, which is no big deal. I know he trusts us. And we made a little mistake as far as the bid and ask price, if you read that. And I replied to him, and then he replied back to me, I would never go anywhere else now that Plip knows you're the tops. Thanks for your quick response. You people are great. You really are. I'm getting together another bag to sell to you. Best Buy back in South Florida. Thank you. That's super kind of you. I really appreciate that, Heirloom Burn. Really, I do. Thanks for your business. And I'm always happy to answer questions, so never hesitate to ask me. How about JPM showing 3.3 ounces, City short 1.6 billion ounces? Yeah, Ted Butler talks, I think he said yesterday at the current silver price that the big four commercial banks were at a total loss of like $8.3 billion if they kind of had to fill that position right then or cash out. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me that they still. Actually, I am surprised that JPM is still short silver and gold. My understanding is they were out of that market, kind of shorting this stuff. But if you got any data or you got any articles to show where they are short this, I'd sure like to look at that, John. Hey, thanks for watching. Yeah, I would back up the truck for teen silver as well. Do you know the best state to buy precious metals as far as taxes and anonymity? Anonymity is. All states pretty much, you don't have to worry about giving. No state requires you give an ID to buy precious metals. The only time is when you're spending more than a certain amount in cash, or it's a suspicious trade, or other things. But as far as checks, you could write a check for $1 million. And anonymity, though, it's hard to do when you get into larger amounts. We do everything by the book here because, we're making small margins here, and you can't afford to make mistakes by doing something stupid and illegal to just get you in trouble and erase all that little bit of money you made. So thanks for watching, PS. Florida's a great state, by the way. I can't talk about other states, but I believe Florida's a really good state. Forgive me saying Texas is a good state when it comes to precious metals. And there's some others out there too, I believe. There are some states that have heavy sales tax regulation and other things, but I would look for states that don't have sales tax on it. Thanks for watching, appreciate that. Premiums on silver are too high, I'm saving to buy gold. I can't argue with that. The premiums are still higher than I'd prefer to see them be, but you know what? It's just kind of a testament that the product is kind of slow getting into stores. So there may be supply issues out there when it comes to silver. Even 1,000-ounce bars are getting a bigger premium than they once were, and that's kind of really interesting. I think there's big supply and demand issues out there, folks. I really do. And I believe that we're also at some point in precious metals, we're going to start to see supply issues at your local coin stores and online too. Again, speculation on my part. G says, breezy day, think the markets will do the same. I don't know. It was kind of an interesting day. These slingshot kind of actions that we're seeing in the morning, where it shoots down and then back up. That kind of slingshot has been really weird, and it's been happening for a couple weeks now. So something tells me the markets are bubbling, they're rumbling. Something's happening out there. I got a gut feeling. I just can't tell you when, of course. No more stimmy checks to put into Bitcoin. Thank you. I appreciate that, Linda. And Celtic not. And let's see. In the bull market, everyone is a genius. Is this a shot at Kathy Wood? Not really. I don't know much about Kathy Wood. I think that she made big bets on tech stuff, and maybe she's getting her head handed to her now on it, which is a shame. But it wasn't really a shot at her. It's just kind of a shot in general that it's hard to be wrong. It's hard to make mistakes in a bull market. Okay. And you can't confuse that with genius. Thanks for watching. I appreciate that. Mark's Google, the only way to make them pay is to get Reddit or someone to create a buying run. Interesting. I just wanted you to know that gold follows silver in the Bible. It is silver and gold, not gold and silver. I know, I always say gold and silver. It's just kind of like, sorry about that, but thanks for watching Swan Silver. Eddie Sargent says buying generic silver 1 ounce for $3 over spot in Dallas. That's a great price, man. That is really a good price. I guess you're going to give up your secret spot, Eddie. Good for you, man. I'm glad you're buying from a local dealer too, keeping that money in town. Justin says, great video, all by design. Bankers are very smart. Everything's calculated in their favor. And this is why I brought up this topic earlier, that banks own gold. Central banks own gold. And for a lot of you silver stackers out there, I think the ratio is 80-1 right now. But, if we start to see gold's having really good strength. It's got more strength than silver, but I believe silver's being more monkey hammered by these big commercial short positions than gold is. I think that if we start to see the price of gold go up, inevitably silver is definitely going to follow. And, I don't see anything but higher prices for gold and silver in the future. Again, that's my opinion. And people always say, well, when? Well, if I knew that, I would place everything I own on a large derivative hedge bet of some sort and just retire. So can't tell you, sorry. But I got a gut feeling with this slingshot action we've seen for like weeks now or a month that something's happening, and we're going to see metals probably bubble over at some point. But again, who knows what kind of job owning the Fed will do. Bobcat B says, I need a self-help group because I continually go back on silver and gold. Honestly, I love my silver. It's so beautiful to hold. Thanks for your daily videos. You're welcome, Bobcat. Thank you. And keep stacking. Yeah, fractional silver is just overpriced in my opinion as well, Silver Lou. Just stick with the 1 ounces and the 10s and the 100s. Best deals out there right now are not Silver Eagles, are a horrible deal. Love the product, horrible deal. 90% love the product, horrible deal. Maples, not so horrible, silver maples, but still overpriced. Best deal out there in the silver world is 100-ounce bars, generics. You shouldn't be paying any more than $3.25 over, maybe spot plus 3. And 10-ounce bars should be no more than $3.25, $3.50 over, depending on the quantity that you're buying. And 1-ounce bars should be no more than $3.50 over at the most. And if you're buying them for less than that, like the gentleman is for $3 below, you're doing good. But avoid Silver Eagles, avoid 90%, and any products that are over $4 an ounce premium. In my opinion, it's just too much money. It's crazy. I'd rather see you guys buy the lower priced recognizable products. Well, that covers it. One of the shorter videos I've done, but not a lot in precious metal news. Hey, listen, I'm going to end this video with saying think for yourself and question authority always. And remember to question your own narrative as well. It may not be your own. That's it. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call me anytime between 10 and 4 Mondays through Fridays. I advertise to beat APMEX, JM Bullion, and I don't advertise, I just tell everyone. I'll beat APMEX, JM Bullion, and SD Bullion on their prices on decently priced, low premium silver and gold products. I don't really carry the overpriced products, even though I do have Silver Eagles and don't recommend them. I do have them. But I will beat their prices on all that stuff pretty much. And your local dealer should be able to do the same. And I'm not casting any bad aspersions on those 3 big online companies. I'm just a very competitive person, and your local dealer should be as well if he wants to stay in business. And keep that money local, folks. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see what happens on Monday, and talk to you soon. Bye now.